It is 2026 and I keep saying that every homeowner should have a server. And in this video, I want to introduce you to ZimaBoard 2. It's a home server, very DIY-ish in a way. It's a version 2. I personally missed the whole Kickstarter hype where they had a ZimaBoard 1, then this is an upgraded version, the next version. By the way, this video isn't sponsored. Zima just sent me their device and asked to share my honest opinion, and this is what I'm gonna do. So let me explain why would you need a home server for yourself and what can you do with this particular one. Let's start off with what it is and what does it have on board. ZimaBoard 2 carries Intel N150 quad-core processor. For those who don't know, this is x86 architecture, meaning that Docker and pretty much everything just work. You don't have to worry about, IRM headaches or whatever. You can buy 8 or 16 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM, and you also have two options for storage, 32 and 64 gigs. And I got 16 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage. So in terms of connectivity, you have two 2.5 gigabit RJ45 ports, a PCIe 3.0 4X slot that you can use for external things like SSDs or 10 gigabit network if you are into it, two USB 3.1 Type A ports, and you even have mini DisplayPort 1.4, 4K 60 Hz. At the back, you have two SATA 3 ports with power. You can also order an external fan that is very easy to install. And overall, there are a lot of things you can buy additionally. For example, they send me even a rack for 2 HDDs. Surprisingly, I had one spare HDD that was just laying around for 6 terabytes and I just didn't have anywhere to put it in. And now I have. The installation process is also very simple. Okay, I guess you have to install the server on the rack first and then screw hard drives in. So let's deassemble it again. It is powered by 12 volt 5 amp DC adapter designed to handle 2 SATA drives. But for those of you who's gonna use 2 HDDs and it's gonna be a heavy HDD use like streaming movies non-stop or whatever, you might as well gonna have to buy an alternative power supply that has more juice. In a nutshell, I think there are pros and cons as always. In terms of good things, a real x86 performance with board OS support, dual 2.5 gigabit Ethernet for fast networking, native SATA ports great for NAS builds, PCIe expansion allows 10 gigabits NICs and NVMe adapters or even low power GPUs, and silent fanless design where you can add a fan if you need. And in my opinion, cons are pretty minor. RAM and eMMC storage is not upgradable. Only 2 USB ports could be a limitation for some of you, as well as no NVMe M.2 socket on board. But again, you can use PCIe for these purposes. And in my case, I'm trying to get rid of all of the hard drives with a regular Type A USBs. I try to use only Type C USBs, and there's no Type-C, but again, very minor things. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm a huge home server enthusiast, home networking, I don't know why, but for the last probably 10 years, I experiment with different setups for my home server and automation and smart home, these kind of things. And I do have very powerful and very expensive 4-bay rack unit from Synology that does a lot of different stuff on my house. But for those of you who want to start automating your house or experiment with your Homelab, ZimaBoard is, I would say, even overkill. It has everything you might need when you start your journey. In my case, if I wouldn't had this Synology thing installed and carried around the globe, I brought it all the way from Ukraine. If I didn't have that, I would probably look into something very simple and cheap in comparison to Synology. And ZimaBoard 2 is just beautiful choice in this regard. The installation process was plain and simple. You just need to plug it to your home network via RJ45 cable and powered it on. Then on your computer, it doesn't matter, it's a Mac, PC, or even Linux or whatever, you go to your networking folder and you will find a new item. That's your new home server. Congratulations. And then you will see this interface. I don't know about you, I think it's very pretty and simple. From there, you probably want to see that everything is here. You see I have 16 gigs of RAM and I have 64 gigs of storage. I don't know if it can see my hard drive yet. Let's find out, because it is the first time I'm launching it with the hard drive. So storage, start. Combined use, single use. Use rate. No, I have only one hard drive, so it's a single use. Now it sees my Western Digital 6 terabytes hard drive and it needs formatting. I don't mind because there's nothing on it that I need. All files will be removed, of course. You see, this interface is very much like your regular Finder or Windows Explorer. You have your folders, you have your HDD storage, you have your onboard storage, ZimaBoard storage, those 64 SSD, like fast flash storage. This is my Synology server. So if you have other networking devices in your network, you can merge them or friend them and they will see each other in the network. In terms of what does it support, I think we're done with storage. You have the whole app store, and check this out, 374 apps. Look at that. These are all like apps you can install on your home server and they will do something for you. I'll be honest, most of this stuff I don't even know what it is and why do you, if you need it at all. In my case, I tried Jellyfin and Plex. I ended up using Plex. Think of Netflix in your basement, your own Netflix. And Home Assistant, this is very new to me. I love to call it translator. So you have a LED strip that supports only Google Home, and then you have a TV that supports only Samsung Smart Things, and then you also have some Chinese brands that support only their Wi-Fi app. So in order for you to have it in your device of the choice, like in my case, this is iPhone, and iPhone uses HomeKit. The Home Assistant is a translator of all these different ecosystems to translate them into HomeKit. This is not like very encouraged by Apple, let's just say, but it's not illegal or you're not hacking anything. With the help of Home Assistant, you can basically connect Xiaomi devices. I used alternative app called HomeBridge. Only with ZimaBoard I tried Home Assistant for the first time, and I'll tell you that in terms of comparison with HomeBridge, it's night and day difference. The Home Assistant is so much better. So don't even bother with HomeBridge, just go with Home Assistant right away. And there you have it. You logged in. In my case, you can see that I already connected all of my devices, not all of them, but a lot of them. You can see the living room has a lot of different lights. I think this light behind me was supposed to be on when I'm filming, so let's find where it is. Wall. There you go. Wall. You turn on, turn off wall. Again, you can add a lot of things, like add a device, and you can see all these vendors. Look at that slider. It goes on and on and on. All the different devices, companies and brands that you can choose to add to your home. For example, I have Aqara. You see, I have a lot of devices from Aqara, and there's two ways to add their devices, via Matter or Zigbee. Anything that supports Wi-Fi in your house probably could be connected to your Home Assistant and be part of your smart home. Even your Tesla, everything could be on your screen, like all of the information on all the things you can manipulate. As you can see, this is just one app, and you have a lot of different apps again here. And if you're a powerful Mac user or any kind of MacBook or iMac or whatever, you know that there's a functionality called Time Machine, where you can very conveniently back up the whole device, whole computer be backed up to your iCloud storage, but it's going to be expensive. Now you can set up local Time Machine backup. Think of arranging a library of all your photos on your server, and anyone who has access can see them. You can see them on your TV and consume them more often. Your music, your movies, your files storage for important files. Some users install firewalls, VPNs, I don't know, website hosting inside your house. If you are a developer, there's so many things you can do. So having a home server basically gives you countless opportunities to experiment and do something cool in your house. You see, I can talk about home automation and home servers for a long time. So let me know in the comments what are you most interested in, and I'll come back to you with another video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.